Up with KREM begins now.
5:30 on the dot now. Coming up on Up with KREM, the Spokane County Sheriff says religious extremism could be a major threat to the public. We'll have more on his concerns that he addressed last night during a town hall.
And the town is abuzz with talk of snow as the weekend comes around. However, will we see it, and does it mean we're going to have a terrible winter? Well, we'll be talking about that coming up.
Well, this morning we were talking about a renewed push to impeach President Trump. We're breaking down the impeachment process. Good morning. Welcome back to Up with KREM. I'm Jen York.
I'm Evan Narani.
And I'm Dana Marie McNichol.
Evan's going to be in the hot seat this weekend.
I've been in the hot seat all week already.
Yeah, people are really buzzing about this snow potentially this weekend.
That's right. So we're kind of in the middle of just what's going to be a Arctic cold front that passes through. It doesn't necessarily mean Spokane will see snow, but if we do, it will be non-accumulating. Okay. It is not the end of the world. We'll be all right.
The end of our world.
Early, exactly. I know. But more likely than not, we might just stick with rain. So it kind of just depends on how close we get to it and how far out we're able to say. Right now, we're kind of right in the middle of that rain-snow mixture.
All right, well, take it away. Tell us what we need to plan for today.
So we're starting off the morning with dry conditions. Here's satellite radar. Partly cloudy skies as we kick off your Wednesday. We're halfway through the week, guys. Today, your Wednesday, should bring highs of about 68 degrees, upper 60s mainly. As we go into the day tomorrow, we'll look a lot similar to what we saw today, what we'll see today. However, showers are going to roll in. So temperatures will be very similar, but it'll be a lot more wet outside tomorrow than what we see right now. Going into your Friday, that's when we really start to see the signs of the cool down. So Friday brings temperatures down to the low 60s, overnight lows to the low 40s. By the time we go into your Saturday, that's when that cold front arrives. That cold front is going to bring wind, rain, and that potential for mountain snow. Starting Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we'll be seeing those overnight lows dip down into the low 30s and upper 20s. We'll talk more about what to expect and where the snow will be coming up.
All right, Evan, thank you. 5:32 now. Federal investigators say FAA leaders misled Congress about the competency of some safety inspectors. They inspected the Boeing 737 MAX jet. They specifically helped set pilot training standards for the jets. Investigators say they were unqualified for the job. The FAA, though, has denied that claim. Leaders say they stand by statements made to Congress. Cheney police identified the student responsible for a school shooting threat. Yesterday, 4 police officers were assigned to the school as a precaution. Officers learned the threat was not credible and all students are safe. Cheney Middle School leaders thanked parents and community members who showed support during that investigation. A Pullman bus driver is out of a job today after leaving a child unattended. Pullman public school leaders described Friday's incident as isolated. The school board held a meeting to discuss the event. Leaders called it unacceptable for safety standards. School leaders declined to go into further detail. This morning, the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office is asking for the public's help. Investigators say 2 men were seen in a car like this to follow 2 young girls in Hayden. The girls told their mother the car passed them twice while they were walking to meet friends. According to the police report, the 2 men pulled over and they got out of the car just a few feet away from the girls. By that time, though, the girls say they had met their friends. That is when they say the men got back in the car and left. If you see a 2000 Chevy Cavalier or a Pontiac Sunfire with Idaho plates in a suspicious setting, you are urged to call the number on your screen. The Garfield County Sheriff's Office is searching for a man. Darren Ferguson was reported missing yesterday. Deputies say his family has not seen him or heard from him since September 17. The last text to his family said he was heading to Teal Springs Campground. If you have any information on his whereabouts, you are asked to call 911 or the Garfield County Sheriff's Office. 5:34 now. Spokane County Sheriff Ozzie Knezovich is warning what he thinks is a threat to the public. He addressed his concerns last night during a town hall event. Much of that event focused on the form of Christian extremism. It's often associated with Representative Matt Shea. In addition to the sheriff, speakers included one of Matt Shea's former Inner Circle associates and a former Washington state senator. They spoke of violent rhetoric tied to Shea as well as other groups he's associated with. They say, as Christian conservatives themselves, they feel the need to speak up before words turn into actions. KREM 2's Casey Decker was at that event.
Absolutely contrary to Christianity, to the Republican values that I believe in, and to the America that I love.
There is no party line to hate.
I do support a two-state system, but not like this.
This is who's teaching these kids. This is who Matt Shea shares the stage with.
Because he ascribes to this theology, because he works with these individuals, because he associates with, that's a deep concern that he continues to represent the people of Eastern Washington in that area.
There was no way that I could sit back and watch what this individual is doing to our community. And the worst part is, doing it in the name of God.
And I'm glad that we have a sheriff, that we have law enforcement that still maintains that rule of law and that innocent until proven guilty. But as private citizens, I think we have a responsibility to stand up and say, this is wrong.
Now it's time for Matt Shea to sit here. It's time for Matt Shea to field your questions. If Matt Shea has the courage to stand in front of you like we have, it's time for him to do it. He owes it to the people that elected him.
All right, 5:36 now. In terms of the crowd present, there was a mix. Some were left leaning, but there was a large conservative base present. A few were Matt Shea supporters, and they yelled often during that event, though there were no sustained protests or arguments. Most people at events seemed to take the message seriously. Sheriff Knezevich told the crowd in Spokane Valley he will not be seeking re-election at the end of his term. He says he will step down in 39 months and continue pursuing a master's degree. Well, that's your Morning Rush. Stories making headlines in the inland Northwest and around the nation. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag #UpWithKREM. 5:37 now. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi announced a formal impeachment inquiry. The complaint accuses the president of pressuring Ukraine's president to investigate his political rival, President Trump's political rival, Joe Biden, and his son Hunter. Yesterday, the Senate unanimously backed a resolution calling for the whistleblower complaint to immediately be sent to intelligence committees.
Calling upon a foreign power to intervene in his election. This is a breach of his constitutional responsibilities.
Today, lawmakers will vote on the release of a complaint filed by that whistleblower. This morning, we're asking you, do you think the president should be impeached? You can head to the KREM 2 app to vote right now, or you can vote on krem.com/vote. Right now, 53% of you say yes, he should be impeached. Well, impeachment, though, is not something we see happen often, so it's worth asking, how does the process work? KREM 2's Dana Marie McNichol connects the dots.
Impeachment is laid out in Article 2 of the Constitution. Specifically, it says, the President of the United States or any other civil officer shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. The House, currently held by Democrats, would be responsible for initiating the impeachment hearing. They'd also oversee investigating the alleged crimes. But it's the Republican-led Senate that would conduct the actual trial and gets to make the final decision on guilt. If they did find the president guilty, they could remove him from office and even bar him from holding office in the future. In fact, only 2 presidents, Andrew Johnson and Bill Clinton, have ever faced impeachment, and neither of them were forced to leave office. All that to say, if President Trump's critics do move forward with impeachment, this story is far from over. Connecting the dots, I'm Dana Marie McNichol.
5:39 now. Dana Marie, thank you. The original cast members of one of the most classic 90s movies. They're making a comeback. That story and more in your speed feed. And coming up in the next half hour, another state is working to ban e-cigarettes. At 6, we're talking about the latest in a string of vape bans. And do you have a question for the future mayor of Spokane? We want to know. Send us questions on krem.com. Next week, you could see us use your questions during our mayoral debate right here on KREM 2 on October 4th.